Mr. Speaker, during the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln, our president, often pardoned people who had been convicted of treason. You may wonder why he did that. The answer is he saw death all around him in the Civil War, and he wanted to make sure he did nothing to add to it. And so he pardoned people who had been found guilty of the most grievous crime one could commit in this country, simply because he loved life. In the same way, I would like to think, whether I leave here after 2 years or 20 years, that there'll be no blood on my hands. That's why I'm against the war in Iraq. That's why I'm against the war in Afghanistan. And that's why I'm so much in favor of health care reform that saves lives in America. We had a different kind of president for 8 years recently, and we had a different kind of administration. An administration that was willing to bear any degree of suffering and pain as long as it was somebody else's. If you were homeless, it was your fault. If you were jobless, it was your fault. And if you died because you had no health insurance, that was your fault. Now that administration is out of power. We, the American people, removed them because they abused it. But they have left behind, in the House and in the Senate, people who feel much the way that they did. Recently, a Harvard study published in a peer-reviewed journal, the American Journal of Public Health, announced that 44,789 Americans die every single year because they have no health insurance. In America today, if you find two people who are physically identical, same race, same age, same gender, same smoking habits, same weight, if you find two people who are physically identical and one of them has insurance and the other one does not, then the one without insurance, that American who has the misfortune simply not health and coverage, that American is 40% more likely to die. This bill that we are considering now to reform health care in America would end that. It covers 96% of all Americans. It ends this grievous national tragedy where day after day, week after week, month after month, 122 of us die every single day because they have no health insurance. Now, I'm sure that if we learned that Al-Qaeda was going to launch an attack on the United States and kill 44,789 Americans at any time next year, I'm sure that we would do anything in our power to prevent that. I submit to you, we should do the same about this. We should do exactly the same here because we face the same threat. It's a less visible threat. It's gone on for generations, but it's a threat nevertheless. If you don't let people see the doctor, then a certain number of them are going to die. And to bring this point home in the face of united opposition by that side of the aisle, what we've done is something very simple. The Urban Institute has published the number of uninsured people in each district, each congressional district in this country. The American Journal of Public Health has told us what percentage of those uninsured people will die next year because they have no health insurance. So what we've done is very simple. We've taken one number and the other number, and through the magic of multiplication, we know how many of those people will die. And I think it's time we call attention to that. So what we've done is for each Republican member, since they are united in opposition to this bill and apparently proud of it, for each Republican member, we have identified in each district the number of dead. They are as follows. Alabama District 1, Congressman Joe Bonner, 114 dead. Alabama District 3, Congressman Thomas Petrie, 52 dead. And Wyoming, Cynthia Lummis, Congressman, 73 dead. Our constituents send us here to do good things for them. Our constituents send us here, some with high expectations, some not so high. But is it really asking too much of us that we keep people alive? We know, according to this Harvard study, that if we do nothing, these people will die. Is it really asking so much of us to cast our vote to save these people? For those of us who favor health care, we realize, literally, the life we save may be our own. Every one of us can lose his job. Every one of us can lose his health. Every one of us can have a pre-existing condition. Every one of us can be denied care. Every one of us can die. Is it really asking so much that we solve this problem for America once and for all? And honestly, for those of us who care about these things, this is what we have in mind. If we fail to save these lives in America, then may God have mercy on our souls. It's important to recognize that this is not a statistic. This is much more than that. These are friends. These are neighbors. These are mothers and fathers. These are sisters and brothers. These are daughters and sons. This is us. These are the people who are losing their lives today because we haven't acted yet. At our website, this website here, namesofthedead.com, we've invited these people to be more than statistics. We've invited these people to tell their stories to us, to America, to have America tell America what's going on. And just as I did last week, I'm going to do it again this week, take the remainder of my time tonight and yield my time to you. Yield my time to America and understand the simple eloquence of people suffering. So for the rest of my time tonight, you will not be hearing from me. You'll be hearing from you. And listen to what you have to say about real people, people who were loved, who lost their lives because they had no health care. Let's begin. Erica Hurd wrote to us about Susan Olivis in Denver, Colorado, and always is overwhelmed with uninsured people. Fran died there in the emergency room after many hours waiting for care. I could go on and on and on. We have received hundreds upon hundreds of stories just like these. And I will tell you, you would have to have a hard, hard heart to ignore them. And now is our chance to do something about it. Now is our chance to see to it that everyone in America can see a doctor if he or she needs to. That everyone in America has affordable, comprehensive, and most important of all, universal health care. I'm calling not only upon the Republicans, but also the Democrats, and to ask them to think about why they are here. We're at the decision point. We'll be voting on this bill this week, and the choice is up to us. We can save these people, or we can let them die. I vote for life. I yield the rest of my time.
The gentleman's time has expired. Under the Speaker's announced